All right, you guys, we've got a great guest on the show today. I reached out to him about 6 months ago. I said, Omari, you have to come on EP Live. We've got lots to talk about. He's finally here, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome to the stage, Omari Newton. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks so much for having me on.
It's good to see you. It's good to see you. I met you at the Vancouver Film School, which is where we shoot the show here at 390 West Hastings, the VFS Cafe.
Yep.
You actually teach.
I do.
Here, in addition to working all the time.
I do.
And you're a very busy man, but you also teach here. What do you teach?
I teach a lot of different things. I do a lot of different things in the industry. So I teach audition. I recently started teaching voiceover, and I also teach improvisation because I came into the business doing improvisation.
Amazing, amazing. I know recently you have also gotten into putting on your own plays.
Yes.
You have one that's at the Arts Club right now.
We, my wife Amy Lee Lavoie and I co-wrote a play that had a reading at the Arts Club on Monday.
Amazing.
And the hope is that they see value in the play and they produce the whole thing. But right now we just had a reading and we got a silver commission to write it together. So.
That is fantastic. Congratulations.
Thanks. And after writing our first draft, we're still married. So that's a huge accomplishment. We're very proud of that.
And Amy actually works at the school as well.
She does.
That is very hard to do, to kind of mix the business and the pleasure like that. But you guys are clearly doing all right with that.
So, I mean, I love her still. I hope you still love me, right? She still loves. Yeah, she's nodding.
It's confirmed.
She's nodding. Great.
Okay, you guys are good still.
Yeah.
Okay, that's amazing. You got your start in Montreal.
I did.
Were you an actor in Montreal, or what did you start doing out there?
So I started off, it was one of those stories, I got my break. I did a play in high school. It was a Shakespeare. It was Much Ado About Nothing.
Cool.
There was a matinee, and there was literally 2 people in the audience, and one of them was an agent.
Oh, wow.
So, like, there's a message for people to, like, always try.
Yes.
Because I tried, and this agent was there.
Yep.
So I got signed to an agent in Montreal and started doing theater out in Montreal. And then I wanted to own things one day, so I transitioned into film and TV, and I moved to Vancouver. Because I was like, theater's awesome, and I still do theater. But the disparity in pay is quite dramatic.
Yes. Do you have a preference? Do you like to be in the in the theater and rehearse?
I love theater. It's my first love.
Yeah.
But if I'm being honest, I'm not just saying this because I'm on this show.
Yeah.
If I could just do voiceover for my entire life, I'd be very happy.
Yeah.
It's my favorite thing to do in the industry.
Why is that?
I think I grew up, like most young guys, watching cartoons.
Yeah.
I loved, like, Transformers and G.I. Joe and Dungeons and Dragons, Ren and Stimpy. So, and I was one of those, like, annoying people. Like, this is most voice actors who I would watch shows and while watching them try to do impersonations of the characters.
Yes.
And then when I discovered that people would give you money for this, it was mind-blowing to me. So I just...
So were you one of those actors that just wouldn't turn it off? You'd just have a million voices and you just show them off all the time?
I'm kind of like an introverted extrovert, so I have an ability, like, I don't do it at parties and stuff.
Yes.
But I drive, like, my wife and my friends crazy. If I'm watching a show and I hear an interesting accent, I can't help but try to do it.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Which has led you to some pretty interesting roles. Corvus on The Dragon Prince, which is headed by ex-Naughty Dog and Riot people, and I've met those guys, Justin Richmond and team down there.
The best guys you could ask to work for.
Incredible, right?
Super nice dudes.
Real awareness. I mean, their whole studio is about making video games and this animated series, which is a hit on Netflix.
Yeah.
Tell me about working on The Dragon Prince.
Working on Dragon Prince was amazing.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, they did a small show called Avatar: The Last Airbender that did okay.
Yeah.
And I auditioned for a couple different roles on the show before landing Corvus, and it's been great. Like, the fans are, like, rabid for that show.
Yes. And it's animated partially up here, right? And partially down there. Yeah.
It's animated partially up here, but all the voice performances are recorded up here, and it's mostly a local cast.
That's great.
There's one actor who was on Avatar as well, who they brought down from LA, but it's mostly Vancouver people.
Fantastic. So. And Corvus, describe your character.
My character is like a knight/tracker who follows. He follows our protagonist, and at first they think he's a bad guy because he's, like, chasing them. But then I'm trying to think of how much has been released so far and what I can talk about.
Yeah.
I started off tracking them, and now I'm with them. Wherever you're at in the show, that's what happened.
That's cool. That's cool. I think they've announced third season but it hasn't hit yet, right? The first
Did
two
they?
seasons. Yeah. Third season is good.
If they announced it, then season 3 is happening.
Yes.
If they haven't, I have no idea whether season 3 is happening. No, I think they did announce it.
Which
yeah.
is amazing, and I know that they have a game that's in development as well. Are you going to be a part of the video game too? Or?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I'm not even saying this to be funny. I actually don't know what I can talk about and what I can't.
Yes.
So I just know that I've been on the first 2 seasons.
I don't think I'm ruining it.
No.
I think
No.
They've been clear about all that stuff.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. But we actors have to sign these terrifying
I know.
NDAs
I
that
know.
mention taking your firstborn, and
Yes.
we just don't want to make any mistakes. So.
Well, tell me, man. Do you learn from voice acting
Mm-hmm.
things that you then take back to? Because television and film acting is very constrained, and it's all
Right.
about close-ups and stuff. But do you ever, crack something in voice acting that then you can bring back in film acting?
Well, I find voice acting is more closely related to theater than film and TV, which is why I love voice acting.
Right.
I find it's very liberating because you're conveying a character and a performance just through sound.
Right.
So if you watch voice actors in the booth, we're making goofy faces and doing weird stuff with our bodies because it's all about the performance we're laying down into the mic.
Yeah.
And that level of freedom and abandon is a really great thing to have to bring into other work. Because TV often it's about the angle and looking cool. And,
and the quick cuts.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm wondering if you have a hero from the voice acting world.
A hero
Is there somebody that just blows you away with what they're able to?
it's kind of a cliche thing to say, but Mel Blanc was insane. Mel Blanc did the voice for most of the Looney Tune characters.
Yes.
And the most surreal thing I've ever seen, there's an episode of Looney Tunes where Mel Blanc, I think he does an impersonation of, what is it? He has Daffy Duck impersonating Bugs Bunny.
Wow.
It was so, not only can he do both of their he does both of their voices, he could do them impersonating each other, and I was like, oh, he's up here on a level that I can only aspire to one day. So yeah, I think he would be a hero.
This is a big town for voice acting, though.
Yeah,
Have you been able to make a lot of connections and pals in the voice acting world up here?
Yeah, it's a really tight community.
Yeah.
The first series regular role I landed was a show called Max Steel, and I played the role of Jefferson. And on that show, basically, I got to work with the top voice actors in the city. So guys like, Brian Drummond and Vincent Tong, Sam Vincent.
I know Vincent. Have you met Scott McNeil? Have you worked with him?
We were on the same show, but I don't think we recorded on the same day. But
Okay.
It's a pretty tight community.
Yeah.
Kathleen Barr, who's amazing, Nicole Oliver. And it's wild because everyone assumes you know what you're doing in this business.
Yeah.
So my first gig, I just had to watch what other people were doing and just copy them because it was my first gig, but no one knew that, and you don't tell people that. So
Yeah.
it was great.
Have you done a gig now where you've had to do 5 voices on a show? Because I know that happens to save money quite often as well.
I have never done 5. I've done as many as 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And you never have to play them against each other, or not yet.
I have not had to do that yet. I've seen people do it.
Yeah.
Andrew Francis played Max on Max Steel, and he played 8 different villains.
Oh my God.
And it was surreal watching him battle himself.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
So you play T'Challa.
I do.
You play Black Panther.
I do, yeah.
That must have been crazy. A surreal day to get that role.
I won't lie, and Amy can attest to this. I cried when I booked the role.
Are you serious? Is that true? Wow.
I did.
Wow.
I'm not ashamed to admit that.
It's fantastic, right?
Yeah.
He's an icon and an important character for a long time, but now everybody knows who he is.
Well, and this is the thing that's pretty cool. So I grew up a comic book nerd as a kid.
Yeah.
And there weren't that many options in terms of black heroes.
Sure.
Right? There was, one of the Green Lanterns was a black guy.
Right.
But
Black
Black Panther,
Lightning.
Black Lightning,
Yeah.
of course. There was Luke Cage.
Yep.
But Black Panther was the guy to me.
Yeah.
Because he not only was he the superhero, but his backstory was so cool. He was royalty. He's one of the smartest guys in the Marvel Universe. So that was the guy who I always wanted to play. And I got to play him for the first time in 2012 before the movie came out.
Wow.
So I had a private nerd out. And now it's kind of cool because now that the movie's come out, the character is way bigger.
Yes.
But I've always loved the character, and now more people care, so it's fun.
How do you feel about, there's ownership there, I guess, right? He's a little bit of in your soul a little bit there.
Yeah,
How do you feel seeing Black Panther everywhere? Were you a fan of what Marvel did with the film? I guess you have to be, yeah.
I saw the movie in theaters 4 times. I thought it was incredible. I mean, Marvel made a mistake. Sorry, Chadwick. I was the guy, but I forgive them. I think Chadwick did a fine job. But, no, I'm kidding. No, I loved the movie. I thought it was incredible, and I'd waited literally since I was a kid for this movie to come out, so I couldn't be more stoked.
That's awesome. Yeah, now that I think about it, like the idea of voice acting, it's almost the middle ground of television and movie acting, because there's a little bit of containment there. You can't go too crazy. And
Sure.
theater.
Yeah.
Have you done performance capture? I know one of the cool things that with the schools, we have this Beyond Capture
Yeah.
partnership here. Have you done any of that yet?
I booked one performance capture gig when I was in Montreal. I
Yeah.
believe it was Ubisoft, but at the time I was doing another TV series, so I couldn't do it. So,
Okay.
fortunately not.
Too busy to book the performance capture thing. But I would
Well-
think that that's the closest in a recorded medium to actual stage performance.
Yeah, I think it would be, although because I haven't done much of it, I can't speak with that much confidence, but I know that in performance capture, it's much more about precision and clarity of movement, where
Yeah.
in theater, you can be more free.
Yes.
So,
Well, and the other thing that you obviously do a lot of on-camera stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
Continuum, you were a lead on the show and were
I
on it
was.
for a long time. We visited the set. I don't know if EP it wasn't me. It was one of
Oh.
our other co-hosts, but I don't know if we ever interviewed you for the show. We have a segment floating around there somewhere. That
Oh, cool.
We did on the set of Continuum, and I think that was a web series first, right?
It started off as an showcase series first.
Oh, okay.
And it moved on to the web. I know they would rebroadcast it on the showcase website, and I think Netflix picked it up also.
Very cool. Just tell us about that experience, because you were on a lot of episodes.
Yeah, no, Continuum was great. I mean, it was a time travel show, and I played the guy who made the time machine, so that's always a good role. And it was just really cool. Like, again, growing up as not only a nerd, but a black nerd, I joked and said I got to carry on the proud legacy that LeVar Burton started of being like, the black nerdy guy who knew the tech. So that was kind of cool. And from that, I got to do a couple conventions. Like, I did a Vancouver Comic-Con, and I did Dragon Con one year. So it's just like literally living out childhood dreams,
That's awesome.
in real time.
Had you been on the other side of that? Had you gone to some
Yeah.
of these conventions as a fan?
For sure. I mean,
Yeah.
certainly when I was younger, my dad used to take me to comic conventions in Montreal.
Yeah.
So it was really, really cool to come full circle and have people want to come talk to me about shows I'd worked on. And simultaneously, while I'm like signing stuff, nerding out on the people I got to meet.
Totally.
Like, I got to meet Sean Astin, and
Yeah.
I mean, between Rudy and Lord of the Rings, I almost lost my mind.
You've been at this for a while now. You've been doing this, since
have.
the Montreal days, and you've
Sure.
been living here for a while, and you're teaching and stuff. What do you say to your younger self? What have you learned, and what are you starting to pass on to the people that you're educating?
So I just told some students of mine who are in their 6th and final term today,
Mm-hmm.
the biggest thing to remember is that it is a marathon and not a sprint.
Right.
I've had some years where I'm like, I am a golden god and I've figured this out and next stop is Hollywood. And there's some years where you're like, everyone has forgotten about me, my phone is broken, I've made a terrible, terrible mistake. But, if you love what you're doing and you keep working at it, it will eventually balance out and the work will continue to find you.
Many years ago, I was an actor. I went to an acting school here, and I got some work. But I quickly realized that that's where the show came from. I realized that you have to kind of create your own work.
Oh, yeah.
You can't wait for people to discover you. And
Sure.
Is that something that you know as a truism now?
Oh.
As somebody that's writing their own things, is this part of it?
So everything I do other than theater
Yeah.
is a result of consistent abject failure.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I'm being kind of facetious, but I do mean, like, I knew that I loved live performance, and that's what got me into the business. And then when I wasn't getting enough work as a theater actor, I first moved to Vancouver to pursue film and TV.
Yep.
And of course, immediately immersed myself in live theater because I couldn't get a job in film and TV. And then through doing theater, I invited my voice agent, Caroline Young at Characters, to come see me in a play. And I figured those skills were transferable. So I started doing voice because she'd seen me on stage and thought I had a good voice. And then, from there, I was able to get into Characters, and I was able to sign with a principal agent, started doing on-camera stuff. I started writing because I didn't feel like there were plays or shows that had content that I was into. Like, I truly, truly believe the more diversified your skill set can be in this business, the busier you'll be.
And I think that success comes out of the sort of pitfalls as well,
Yeah.
right? Like as long as you don't let them get you down, the lessons you learn are then immediately applicable to your next steps, and that
Yeah.
could be the break that you need.
I would tend to agree. I think I can't remember who said this, but it was some famous athlete said, you learn more from the losses than you do the wins.
Yeah.
You know, when there's like confetti in the air and everyone's pouring champagne, it's a nice feeling.
Yeah.
But when you lose, you get to go back and look at, okay, well, what didn't work out? What can I do differently next time?
Yeah.
So I think it's failure is good as long as you're productive.
This is a business of trying to, you're auditioning all the time, and you're expecting people to just kind of notice you and hoping that somebody says, okay, we've got this spot for you.
Sure.
So I would imagine it's kind of hard to kind of place a goal or place is it a role? Is it to be cast in a film? Is it to be cast in a game? Or what would you like to see for yourself? What would you like to see happen for you?
My ultimate goal would be getting to co-write a show with my wife and to act in a show that we wrote together. That would be like my lifelong dream.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Omari, I think the next time you're on, that's exactly what's going to be happening, and that's what we will talk about.
I hope so.
That'd be rad.
Cool.
You guys can watch Omari, where you can hear Omari as Corvus in The Dragon Prince and as Black Panther on Superhero Adventures. Where can people watch Superhero Adventures?
It's on YouTube, or if you're in the States, it's on Disney XD.
Very cool.
And of course, Corvus and Dragon Prince is on Netflix. So.
Awesome. And track them down on the Continuum show as well. And keep your eyes out, because Omari is going to be everywhere. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for having me.
That was awesome.
I really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.